Hi, Asia. I have a couple questions about your essay. First of all, there are quotes in here or there's information in here that isn't cited. And so I was kind of wondering, like, where did this come from? And I'm sure it came from somewhere, but if you're going to use it, you have to cite it. So 1 in 4 women are victims of domestic violence. There should be a citation after this, just saying where you read that or from what source you got it. And then there's a 75% higher risk. That should also be cited. Um, I don't know if that came out of the Born a Crime book. I don't think so. But if it did, you could just reference that. Um, so, on top of that, you're making a lot of claims about things related to abuse and trauma, and that's awesome. Not abuse and trauma, but that you're making these claims. But I was wondering back to the book, what is your um, thesis? I remember looking at it in the thesis submission assignment, but now I'm kind of confused because this seems more global, right? About domestic violence. And then here you kind of lead into the book. So I'm not sure if you meant for these to be separated because this looks like it's centered and then this is left aligned. So maybe move this over and join this back to this so it's all one paragraph. Or maybe it's not supposed to be. I don't know. Anyway, what I'm thinking is when you put these quotes in from the book, you do take some time to explain them afterward, but I feel like there could be so much more that you have to say. Um, who is able, besides being her husband, and why does he want a woman who is free? And why does he dream about putting a free woman into a cage? What the hell? Like, really explain that to me. You say what it implies, like I get that, but why? Right? Like, what's his deal? And maybe that would lead into another example, like maybe the blackberry tree example, um, just showing his like history with violence or his tendency to violence. This right here about having the undercurrent of terror running through the house, like how did that impact Trevor Noah in his life? How did that impact him in the moment? How did it impact him after that? Going back to this idea of having a thesis, I'm going to scroll, so be careful with your eyes real fast. Ooh, down to the bottom. This again looks like it's centered, so you need to move this over to the left. This is your sharing your personal story at the bottom. Let's see. So this is like more about the mom, right? And her perspective on the whole thing. So maybe your thesis is about her and her ability to survive an abusive relationship. Or maybe it's about both of them, right? Maybe it's about trauma that comes from violence and how different people react to it, right? You could have analyzed Trevor Noah and his mom separately for how they react to um, Abel. Okay, so I think that's where you need to go next. Make sense? Let me know if it doesn't.